Good evening. I'd like to call the village board meeting for the village of Cary for Tuesday, October 17th, 2017 to order with roll call, please.
Betts.
Here.
Kostler.
Here.
Cavalli.
Here.
Kraus.
Here.
McAlpine.
Here.
Weinhammer.
Here.
Koenig.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm not taking a knee, George.
Thank you. We'll now move to the open forum where the public is invited to make an issue-oriented comment on any matter of public concern not otherwise on the agenda. I have two people that have signed in, Randall Colner.
This afternoon.
Thank you. I was here last time regarding brush pickup. Probably remember that. I received a nice letter from Eric, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Eric turned around and said, we'll pick up the brush this time, but next time if you got a big pile, it's going to be refused, you're going to have to pay for it. So, nice letter, but my question right now is what am I supposed to do if I have another big pile? Do I put half of it behind my garage and put part of it out? Or do I put it on my neighbor's parkway? Because that's what the previous director had said I was supposed to do. But in fact, he just started picking up. He didn't make me put it anywhere. He just picked it up. The point is, the same point as I made last time. It's not equivalent to surrounding communities. They don't have a size limit and they don't charge. It's degraded from the previous services that this village offered. It's more complex than what it needs to be when you start putting all these come-along rules into it. And it just doesn't serve the citizens, and it's not run efficiently. So, I mean, thanks for the letter, but it wasn't what I was looking for, so I just want to let you know where it stands. Secondly, last meeting that I did attend where I spoke, I was pretty appalled with the dysfunction of this board. I mean, I'm not taking sides here on anybody, but I think that when we have a public meeting and an open meeting, when people want to be on record and recorded accordingly, I think they need to go on record. Now, I looked up the statutes for the Illinois Open Meeting Act, and the statute says, meetings shall include, but are not limited to, a summary of discussion for all matters proposed, deliberated, or decided. So to me, that means discussion of each and every trustee. Summarized, fine. But when we have to argue about what goes in and what doesn't go in, you're not doing a service to the citizens. Because as a citizen, I want to know what trustees stand for. I want to know what their contributions are. And I want to know if there's any conflicts of interest. So as soon as there are arbitrary come-along rules on what can be put in and what can't be put in and what can be summarized and what can't be summarized, the people you're disservicing are the citizens. The dysfunction of this board is disservicing the citizens. So let's start going according to the Illinois Opens Meeting Act, and let's start putting that to the letter. I mean, it's real common sense. If something is not summarized correctly or omitted in the minutes of the previous meeting, it's pretty simple. It can be corrected. It can be changed, it can be added, but it also needs to be recorded in the subsequent set of minutes. It's that simple. You guys make it way too difficult, just like the trash program, just like the brush program. Let's make it simple. If there's a mistake, due diligence to get it fixed. If there's something omitted, due diligence to put it in. It can be in summary, I agree with that. I don't think you have to go word for word, unless somebody turns around and says, I want to be on the record word for word. But there have to be a reason for that, a good reason. But if something is omitted, or if something is not correct regarding the summary, it needs to be addressed and corrected. And that's just common sense. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Martha Ritter?
Hello, Martha Ritter, 239 School Street. Saturday night, school in Norman should have been called the Fox River meets the Mississippi River. It was flowing down School Street pretty fast. It was flooded across the street into the retention pond. Another foot and it would have overflowed. Two guys from next door were raking the leaves as fast as they were coming down school. They might have been able to see the 18 inches of water if only the street light that I told Eric about 4 weeks ago. Here's a light bulb in case you need one. Because apparently they don't know what size or anything. How many people does it take to screw in a light bulb? Oh wait, I would never know the answer to that because it's never been done. And that builder wants to take half of the retention pond away? Are we screwed? And we are screwed, and it won't be just the light bulb that's screwed.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to address the village board? Okay, we'll go ahead and close open forum. We have one proclamation this evening for World Pancreatic Cancer Day. Whereas in 2017, an estimated 53,670 people will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in the United States, and 43,090 will die from the disease. Whereas pancreatic cancer is one of the deadliest cancers, is currently the fourth leading cause of cancer deaths in the United States, and is projected to become the second leading cause by 2020. Whereas pancreatic cancer is the only major cancer with a 5-year relative survival rate in the single digits at just 8%. Whereas when symptoms of pancreatic cancer present themselves, it is generally in later stages, and 71% of the pancreatic cancer patients died within the first year of their diagnosis, while 91% of the pancreatic cancer patients die within the first 5 years. Now, therefore, I, Mark Koenig, Mayor of the Village of Cary, do hereby proclaim November 16th, 2017 to be World Pancreatic Cancer Day in the Village of Cary, dated the 7th day of November 2017. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items number 1 through 3.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Betts,
Yes.
Kostler,
Yes.
Pavelli,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Weinhammer.
Yes.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the receipt and acceptance of the comprehensive annual financial report known as the CAFR for the fiscal year ended April 30th, 2017, and the auditor's required communication letter.
So moved. Second.
Michael?
It's that time of year to approve the receipt and acceptance of the village's audit, or CAFR. It has already been posted on the village's website. Anyone can go onto the village's website and look at the complete CAFR. Tonight, we have Ed Tracy from Selden Fox, just here to make a few comments and answer any questions that the board members may have. Ed?
Thank you for having me here tonight. We have completed our audit for the year ended April 30th, 2017, and have issued our comprehensive annual financial report. This CAFR will be submitted to the for Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting with the Government Finance Officers Association. Our independent auditor's report on this, on the financial statements, is an unmodified opinion. That's the highest form of assurance that we can give that the financial statements are fairly presented and in accordance with governmental accounting standards. Our audit really is 2 phases to our audit. The first phase involves updating our understanding of the internal controls that you have in place at the village through inquiry of management, and then performing walkthroughs of selected transactions to make sure that those controls are in place and operating as was represented to us. And then we further test these internal controls, not to issue an opinion on internal control, but to determine how much we can rely on these controls when designing the rest of the second phase of our audit. The second phase of our audit is more of a substantive testing of account balances, and we usually do this through a couple processes. We use confirmations with third parties for cash investment balances, debt balances, things like that. We also look at supporting documentation to verify revenues, expenses, payables, things. Use analytical procedures where we compare actual results to expected results. Expectations are based on things like budgets, things we've read in the minutes, review of minutes, again, conversations with management, and then just how different accounts we follow up and investigate. The village's financial statements provide information on both the government as a whole and then on a fund basis. The government as a whole, in the statement of activities, showed a loss of about $872,000, but included in that number is over $800,000 in depreciation expense and that's within the governmental activities alone. So absent depreciation, it's much closer to a break even. Within the fund financial statements, there's two types. There's governmental funds and there's proprietary funds. Governmental funds, the main one is your general fund, and that had a positive bottom line this year of about $71,000. And at the end of the year, the fund balance was at about 75% of your annual expenses. The most significant proprietary fund is your water and sanitation fund. And while that had an operating loss of about $586,000 this year, again, included that number is depreciation expense and non-cash expense of about $1.2 million. So from a cash flow perspective, the water fund operations generated a positive cash flow of about $885,000, which was used to pay down principal and interest on debt out of the water fund of about $810,000 this year. The village also has two pension funds, IMRF and police pension funds, and contributed just over $1 million to those two funds in the current year. The IMRF plan is about 85% funded, the police plan about 55% funded at this time. And the village continues to make contributions on an annual basis to cover not only what's called the normal costs for the benefits earned this year, but also an amount to pay down that unfunded portion over the next 26 years, and that's in accordance with state statute. So you can continue to make the annual contributions as determined by the actuaries for both plans. I personally would like to thank village administrator, finance director, and the rest of the finance staff for all the assistance they provided us during the course of the audit. When we came out here, things were ready for us. We were able to, the books and records that were ready, we were able to do our work efficiently, and everyone was very cooperative in terms of following up on any additional requests for information or just questions related to what the financials showed. So I appreciated that help. We certainly want to thank Michael and his staff for all the cooperation they extended us.
Do we have any questions for Mr. Tracy?
Mr. Tracy, so if I do have a question if everybody is done and doesn't have a question. Because I don't know who to direct this to. So you mentioned we're submitting for the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting again. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not really sure that that's beneficial, and the amount of money that we spend to do that is actually paying back to the residents of the community. And like I said, I don't know who to direct this to. What benefits do we receive out of getting that award? Because you're already auditing us. Mm-hmm. So it seems a little bit like fluff to me, and that there's no real benefit behind it. So
I think there's some tangible benefit in the fact that I think it helps when the time comes for bond ratings and things like that. It might be beneficial. I don't know exactly, exact correlation to the benefit, but in conversations with finance directors in other areas, I've been told that. I've never been in the finance director position myself, always been the outside auditor, so I don't know exactly, but I've been told that they can be helpful in that end.
From a time standpoint, there's not a big amount of time that's spent from village staff to submit for this.
So, yeah, whether there's something that's tangible that we get out of it, I don't know, but it helps to show and make the case here for the residents that we, the village board and staff take our finances very seriously here, and we've been awarded that many years in a row. And I think it does kind of put the feather in the hat.
okay, what do we pay to submit for that?
I'm not aware of any costs. Michael, can you expand on that?
There's an application fee, I think it's like $475.
Okay. It just seems like an award, and this is just my opinion, that they're certifying that our financial reporting is excellent, but it's not like an audit like that you give. So we give them our reports, and they just say, you met our requirements, so you get the award. And it
And
just,
they do provide recommendations, comments, if there's changes to, improvements we made. Typically, they're pretty minor, so, I mean, I'm not saying that's justification on its own, but sometimes you do get some recommendations for improvements.
okay. All right.
Are there any other comments?
Can I make one other
Yes.
comment? I can tell you from my own personal experience that, number one, presenting the statements in the manner we do is pretty much a standard that's out there. And firsthand, I could tell you, going out to have a bond rating or to get a bond rating issued, the rating agencies look very favorably on having the statements in that format. And I think if they were not in that format, it would require a lot more work on their part to find the information that they're looking for to issue that rating for the village.
Michael, you might be able to help me out with this. There's another award that the same organization gives, and it's not for financial reporting excellence.
It's the Distinguished Budget Award.
Yes.
And I'd be the first one to tell you, and I've actually received that award at other communities. But generally, the amount of staff that it takes and the time that it takes to compile it and to meet all the requirements to receive that award, it would be hard to justify here because I don't have the people to throw at it. If I had people that I could assign to it, I'm not saying that the award doesn't have merit. It's just the amount of hours that it would take us away from our normal day-to-day responsibilities.
I'll say that that's something that I think that we're working towards here. If you look at this current year's budget that was presented to the village board compared to previous budgets, there's a lot more detail, a lot more information that gets us closer to achieving that award. I don't think that that's something that happens overnight and happens right away, but I think down the road here that once we continue to build on our budget, our presentation, the overall document that we put together, I think someday, yeah, we can achieve that award.
Yeah, because between the two awards, the budget award is basically that you're presenting the budget in a manner that is easily interpretable by the people of the community. And personally, as a board member, I think that goes further towards the benefit of our residents than this one, because this is just a report and it's very hard to decipher. And that budget award is you presenting it in a manner that the residents can interpret. And I think we've had issues with that as a board in the past, that residents want to know why we're spending money here or there. And it may be something to look at in the future, I guess is my point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other comments?
I'd just like to, again, here thank Mike and his staff, Kelly, Danielle, and Nicole, all the finance staff for all the hard work that they do on this. As it was mentioned by Mr. Tracy here, it is an unmodified, clean opinion, which is the best opinion that we can receive. So a lot of kudos to our finance staff.
I agree. Thank you, Michael. Roll call, please.
Valley,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Weinhammer,
Yes.
Betts,
Yes.
Kostler,
Yes.
I will entertain a motion to approve the October 3rd, 2017 Village Board meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Betts,
Yes.
Kostler,
Yes.
Valley,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Weinhammer,
Yes.
Thank you. I entertain a motion to approve the October 3rd, 2017 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Kraus,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Weinhammer,
Yes.
Betts,
Yes.
Kostler,
Yes.
Valley.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to administrators report. Jake.
The next Maplewood meeting that we have scheduled here is we're planning before the committee of the whole on November 7th. That would be the next opportunity for the developer to come in with an updated plan, review that with the village board and the residents, have a similar format that we've had previously, allow the residents to provide any comments and feedback on that. So November 7th is a next opportunity here to review the Maplewood concept plan. That's all I had, Mayor.
Thank you. Department head reports. Chief, you have anything? Michael? Brian? Thank you. Is there any future agenda items and discussion by the village board? That said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We will reconvene in 5 minutes.